Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show, live here from Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue in Georgetown, Texas. I'm Wally Harmon, alongside tonight Kelly DeVoll in the house. And we're going to be joined here in just a moment by head coach Jordon Vierra. The Georgetown Eagles, 16-3 overall, 4-2 in district play, and probably, I think you could easily say, the toughest 5A district in the state of Texas. Kelly, kind of an up and down week last week. A big win on Tuesday against Rouse in a 12-inning affair. A couple of pitchers named pitchers of the week by Texas High School Baseball, Nick Silva and Wade Denton. And then we go to Liberty Hill, and a discussion we had with Coach Vierra that on any night at any place, any team can win in this district. We see that as Marble Falls has picked up their first win. And so they were kind of close on a couple of games, but anybody can win on any night. Liberty Hill upsets us 3-1, and then Saturday come home and the team responded well and had a 4-1 win against a 6A Vandergrift Viper team. And now a week off on Tuesday, and tomorrow Cedar Park, Saturday Glen, a back-to-back home affair. And so an opportunity for this team to make another run and get back on the winning side of things in district.
You look at the schedule, you look at this district, and how does it get any tougher? You've got three teams at the bottom at 1-5, but you have four teams at 4-2, Cedar Park at 5-1. They'll be 5-2 after this Friday, and then you turn the district on its ear, and it's going to be a dogfight to the playoffs.
An opportunity, as this will be the last matchup before the second round of district play. And so opportunities, one, to avenge losses. You're going to face Leander again. This time we're going to face them at home. We're going to face Liberty Hill again, this time at home. An opportunity. But then you're going to have that, as we discussed last week, that G is a target. We're going to go on the road to Rouse. We're going to go on the road. We're going to play against Eastview on next Thursday night. You can sit here and say Eastview is a 1-5 team in district, but you can say Eastview is waiting for an opportunity to welcome Georgetown to their field and be the home team on any given night to try to take that win. But opportunity this week. Glen is a good baseball team. They've struggled as of late. We played them the first district game. It was on the road at Glen. But we responded late. We came back. We went ahead early. They had a little run there later in the game, but the boys responded and shut things down. But Glen's a difficult team. You sit there and look at these teams at 1-5. Marble Falls to me is a scary 1-5. They lost to Cedar Park in 9 innings, 1-0, and so a team that can play any night of the week against any of these teams.
Well, you look at Glen's record, 8-12 on the season. We've talked about it. We've talked about it with Coach. You got to be ready to go every game that you're playing in district, and the teams that make it to the playoffs are going to be formidable and have a shot at making it to Dell Diamond. So tough district, but it's exciting. Even in the loss to Liberty Hill, as disappointing as that was, you still look at the pitching performances. You still look at the defense back there, and it was a pretty stinking good game, except for that L in the column. Pitching was just off the chains, and that kind of gets lost. But as the season goes on with the depth in the pitching staff, that's what bodes well for the Eagles late in the season.
And the interesting thing to look at will be the fact that both of these teams tomorrow night, Georgetown and Cedar Park coming in, are going to be sitting on a week's rest. They played Saturday. We played Saturday against Vandergrift. Cedar Park's last district game on April 1st against the Rouse Raiders, in which they won 3-2. A tough week for Rouse. They lost 2 straight. And so an opportunity to kind of dogpile on that. But then where does Cedar Park come off that high? But yet, they're sitting well rested, just like Georgetown is.
Well, and you look at the reactions to the football games of Georgetown and Cedar Park, and it's there. That I don't want to call it dislike, that rivalry mentality, that attitude towards the two schools carries over to all the other sports. And with baseball, you have two quality teams that are going to be playing Friday. And by the way, if you're listening on YouTube, come out and support the Eagles Friday. We always have good crowds. Come out and support the Eagles Friday against Cedar Park. And let's start the second half of this district run with a win.
Weather should be nice tomorrow night. It says a high of 78 on Friday, clear skies, and so perfect baseball weather to be at the field. The Eagle Field will host it tomorrow night. 6:45, we'll have pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. against the Timberwolves.
If we had Doppler Dave England here, we would have a very significantly perfect weather forecast.
I had to refer to a subpar forecast since Dave's
it's not
here
Doppler
with us.
Dave.
But let's take a quick timeout, and we'll be back and be joined by head coach Jordon Vierra here live on the Eagle Nation Baseball Coaches Show live from Pok-e-Jo Barbecue in Georgetown, Texas. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Here live on the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show, live from Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue in Georgetown, Texas. Getting a text from Doppler Dave England from San Antonio. Coach Jordon Vierra joins us. First, I have to put out, Coach, the really important sports news of the day. Tiger Woods sitting tied for 10th at the Masters.
That one under.
One under. Impressive after.
Andy left a bunch of shots out there today.
He did.
Very impressive. For less than 15 months ago, he crushed his right leg. But it's just beautiful. Great day for baseball opening day. The Masters and Tiger Woods playing.
Go Stros.
I had a hard time working today. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, we were talking this morning. Today's a beautiful sports day.
Oh, yeah.
You got the Masters
Phenomenal.
rolling out. You got opening day.
I don't want to give Manford some credit, but, man, it really worked out well for
Yeah.
baseball to start today
really did.
with the first round of the Masters. But
You said you missed me last week. I'm back.
Yeah,
I'm here.
I'm glad
I'm
you
here.
finally made it.
I did.
I'm glad he finally got some things straightened out on the video production that any pictures that get broadcast by Kelly, I am not claiming responsibility
Easy.
for them. But he got it corrected. That's good. But Coach Vierra joins us here live. Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue, with special thanks to them for all they do, welcoming us here into their location, and glad some of the fans, friends, and family able to come out tonight. Coach, a good break. Star testing. Some districts were still playing. A break for the Eagles, and now a back-to-back district affair here. Both home games, which is going to be nice.
Yeah.
But the top-ranked team in the district right now is sitting at 5-1. Cedar Park comes in tomorrow night. What are we looking at?
No, so they're a good club. I mean, they are as advertised. They throw a bunch of strikes. They play quality defense. They're not overly flashy per se, but they're very, very well coached and fundamentally sound. They do a lot of little stuff right. They run the bases really well. They said they play clean defense, and they've been finding ways to win. And so we're for sure going to have a work cut out for us. Not a point to take lightly, like you guys said. This kind of turns into, I wouldn't necessarily call it a rivalry game, but it's a game that carries some emotional sides to it because of what happens in all the other sports. And with that being the case, it's something that we got to show up tomorrow and play our game.
Yeah, you made a statement there talking about they finding ways to win. Their first game of district was a 1-0 affair over Marble Falls in 9 innings.
Yeah.
And at first look, you go, okay, what's wrong with that picture? And now they sit at 5-1. They're finding lots of ways to win since then. It wasn't pretty against Marble Falls, and to read some of the articles that came out of that game, Marble Falls was right in it. Marble Falls left opportunities out in the field to score, but the Cedar Park team just keeps finding those ways. They come back and beat Rouse 3-2. Rouse had a rough week last week.
Right.
And so now as we bring in, both staffs should be nice and rested, the pitching staff. But now, what's the challenge that you're going to face having Cedar Park tomorrow night and Glenn turn around less than 24 hours and host them on another district opponent? Pitching is going to come into play at some point for all these teams.
Right. So for us, I mean, we're obviously well rested. We're going to have our full staff ready to rock and roll tomorrow. With the way that we try and set up our pitching staff is we try and create a full pitching staff, right? So we're preparing to play 3-game sets. We're not preparing to win one on Tuesday and one on Friday. We know that the big wins we're going to have in our season are going to happen on Saturdays. And so for us to be able to go out and compete on a Friday, find a way to win on a Friday, and then be able to turn around on a Saturday and still have enough pitching left over to still be competitive on a Saturday, and to win the biggest games of the year on Saturday is where we're trying to set up. So as far as the amount of pitching that we have and where we're at that wise, I really like where we're at.
Cedar Park's going to come in the same way.
Yep.
So we expect to see their big dogs. They've got Marble Falls to look forward to on Saturday or their next game, where a lot of teams would go, okay, maybe I can get away with
For sure.
a 4th or 5th starter here. So Cedar Park's going to come in rested, bringing in their top dogs. Georgetown's going to come in rested and bring in their top dogs. How big is the offensive side going to come play into that then? When you've got knowing that both pitching staffs are ready to go with every complement of pitcher available. Now how big does it come into the offensive side and putting out good swings?
So offensively for us, it's going to come down to the things that it always does, right? Like, are we going to be able to execute our game plan? Are we going to be able to be adjustable? Are we going to be able to be adaptable as the game is being played out and as we figure out how they're going to throw us? Are we going to be able to make those adjustments and then be able to execute the situations as they come up? And so for us, it's going to be, can we get on first base? Can we move runners? Can we steal bags? Right? Can we execute those situations? And I think if we can handle and we control what we can control, I think it's going to put us in a really good place offensively.
How big of a factor is it that with the maturity that you have on a team, seems like a nice balance because you've got guys that have been on the field for quite some time, several years, and you've got this young influx of talent as well. So it seems like a good mix. How's that affect your game planning? How's that affect the ability to overcome in-game mistakes or the adversity that you face in the game?
So for us, it's we have a pretty good mix of the older guys, like you said, and we got a group of younger guys or new to varsity guys. Don't necessarily want to call them younger guys because we do have 15 seniors. So for us to be able to make adjustments on the fly and be able to fix those things, the older guys have a pretty good understanding of that, and the guys that are kind of new to the varsity have been in our system for 4 years. So it's not like we do something different at the freshman level than we do at the senior level. So all of those guys understand the system and are learning as we go. And our seniors have done, and our guys that have been around for a few years, like you said, have done a really good job of pulling those guys under their wing and reminding them, hey, man, this is how we do things. And helping them figure it out along the way as we go.
Well, one of the things that's really been impressive in watching the Eagles this year is they don't seem to get too low. They don't seem to get too high.
Yeah.
When something goes wrong on the field or at the plate, they seem to shake it off pretty well.
Yeah. And that's one thing that we've really been focused on throughout the course of our season. It's something that we've talked about all fall. It's something that we've talked about all spring as well. Is we have to be in the present moment, right? We got to be right where our feet are. People talk about how do you eat an elephant? You eat it one bite at a time, right? You can't worry about getting the snout before you get to the tail. Or in our case, we refer to Mount Everest, right? How do you climb Mount Everest? You don't just jump to the top. You climb it 200 feet at a time. And so that's one thing that we constantly talk about is being involved in the present moment, because you can't do anything about the past. You can't do anything about the future. The only thing you can handle is right where your feet are. And kind of like we've talked about before, is these guys have really bought into that, and they've done a very good job of taking care of the present moment of where they're at. So we've had a few wins where we've been down by up to 6 runs and been able to come back and find that way to still get it done. And we were having a conversation in the clubhouse today with the team of if you were to describe our team, how would you describe it? And the 3 words that they came up with today were gritty, determined, and attention to detail, right? Detail-oriented, or scrappy was the second word. So our guys have kind of taken on that mentality, taken on that mantra of, and we're going to be gritty. We're not going to be overly flashy. We're going to be scrappy. We're not ever going to go away. We're going to stay in the fight the entire time, and we're going to pay attention to the details because the details are ultimately going to be what paints the picture.
Pulled up here at Texas high school baseball. You love to see it. You love to have these accolades poured upon your players when they are obviously well-deserved.
Yeah.
The 5A Diamond Pro Pitcher of the Week is a dual pitchers of the week, and they're both Georgetown. Nick Silva and Wade Denton, we talked about it last week on the coaches show, the job they did on the mound.
Yeah.
And so it's awesome to see those kids honored across the state in 5A baseball as pitchers of the week. But then I thought it was neat. You pull it up. Who's the runner-up? Adam Vaughn, Cedar Park over Rouse. And it's just the talent level in this district. You can go on and on about it.
Yep.
But from top to bottom, you have good baseball players, great baseball players at all levels. What does that say to Nick and Wade? What does that say to is it an encouragement to them? Is it where you're going to now fight it to, hey, that was 1 week, try to win it every week. Try to be the pitcher, that pitcher every game. What's the challenge there to keep them level-headed?
Yeah, so we actually have an in-house accolade. So I'll go with that one first. The Texas High School Baseball magazine, website, they do a great job of covering Texas high school baseball. And then they do a really good job of perpetuating our game and growing our game. But the text message that I got was from one of the guys that runs our 5A baseball, and he was like, "Hey, Coach, I need headshots of these 2 guys. It's the first time we've ever done this, but I'm giving it to both guys." So that was a pretty cool deal to have them receive that. And then the other side is we have an in-house award. So we have a few shirts that we pass out on a weekly basis for the hitter of the week, the base stealer of the week, the K-Zone commander of the week, and a gold glove and a war dog. So we have these 5 shirts that we pass out, and what's neat is to watch them compete for winning those shirts, and taking pride in putting that shirt on and going, I was the dude on the mound this week. And then them competing back and forth, and watch how that kind of plays out from week to week is exciting on that deal. So there's the in-house competition of what's going on there, and we keep talking about, man, you can't worry about who's in the other dugout or what's going on the other club. All that we can worry about is what's going on our clubhouse and in our dugout.
So having only coached high school baseball from the stands,
we got a lot of those.
Yeah. Just be glad it's not football. when you have the talent that you have this year, because we've had conversations throughout the years.
Yeah.
Some years you have some more talent. Some years you have a little less talent, and each has its challenges. Each has its rewards. What's the biggest challenge with a talented team like this? What's the biggest reward?
So the biggest challenge right now that we've had is the accolades, right? Like the shine of everything that shows up on social media. We've had a lot of we're incredibly blessed and incredibly fortunate to have the people that care about our program the way that they do and want to blow up our athletes the way that they do and just shine the light on them because they deserve it and they've absolutely worked their tail off and earned that. But that's a blessing and a curse too, right? As soon as you start pumping that in there, that ego starts to get fueled a little bit, and they start thinking that they're pretty cool. And one conversation that we've had is Julius Caesar walking through in his triumphs and having the slave behind him that constantly was whispering, "You're only a man. You're not a god. You're only a man." And so that's a conversation that we have on a regular basis. It's not.
They tell you you're only a man.
No, God, no. If that's the best thing that they call me, I think we're doing okay. So that's the conversation is continue to stay humble, continue to stay where you're at. We haven't won anything yet, right? Our initial goal was to win a tournament, and we won our tournament. And then our next goal turns into win the first game of district, and we accomplished that goal. And our next goal is to win a district championship. And so we haven't accomplished that goal yet. And so as incredible as it is to get blown up and to have all the shine and all the cool videos that keep popping up on Instagram, it's a pretty special deal. But the other side of that is we got to continue to stay humble. We got to continue to stay hungry and keep working on that path. So that is the blessing and the curse. We have a bunch of guys that have been around for a really long time, to answer your question, that are talented and they're not overwhelmed with the stage that we get to be on in one of the better districts in the state of Texas. And so, but then the other side is having that success and finding a way to stay humble.
Right. I got to tell you a funny story I just got back from Boston teaching a class up there. On one of the breaks, one of the guys in class came up to me and goes, "Hey, I know Texas high school football is a big deal." He goes, "But look at this." And he showed a video that's going around social media of Texas high school baseball attendance at state championship game. And there was a great big blue G on the scoreboard in the outfield of Dell Diamond last time we played there. And place was packed, just absolutely packed. He goes, how does that happen? But how much fun is it to coach in an atmosphere like that? Because, even during the regular season games, they have good crowds, lots of participation. It's a ton of fun to call the ball games. How much fun is it to coach in this setting?
It's a blast. I mean, to be a part of Georgetown, just athletics in general, is a blessing for sure. Our community absolutely loves Georgetown athletics and gets behind us 100%. And being a part of that and seeing that happen, and for these guys to get to take the field in front of the crowds that we get to play in front of is exciting. It's a blast to coach in front of. More importantly, it's fun to watch these guys to get to showcase their talents and to showcase their abilities in front of those people. Tomorrow should be another really fun night. Tomorrow's one of my favorite nights of the year. It's GYBA night. And so to see all those little rugrats running around all over the ballpark and seeing them come out and stand next to the high school boys that they want to be like one day and get to be a part of the national anthem, it's a fun thing.
So speaking of that, how did the exceptional Georgetown Alliance game go?
Oh, incredible. Absolutely incredible. That is my favorite day of the week every time. And just to get to see the smiles that are out there. Yeah. And I think I said last week, like the ability to see these guys interact with those kids and see them love on them and to take a totally different approach than not being a part of baseball. It doesn't have anything to do with baseball, right? It's baseball. It's a cool thing. We get to toss around a ball. It's a connection. But in the long run, it's not about baseball. They get to love on those kids and grow those kids and stay with them and get to totally step away and just serve some kids for a little bit.
Tip of the cap to the parents, not only the ones that are here in the room, but all the parents of the athletes in Georgetown. Getting to know your kids and getting to be around your kids is a blast. And they're just a great group of kids. You can tell they've been raised right. They're not stuck on a ROF, LOL. Lots of cabals and consonants, I don't know.
Sometimes.
When you talk to them, they look you in the eyes. Because a lot of kids now, you say something to them, they just look at you like you got a forearm growing out of your head, and they walk away. Don't say anything. But this group of athletes here in Georgetown, this baseball team, thank you guys for letting us share this with your kids, and thank you for letting us share this with you.
Fortunate.
And just tip of the cap to the parents.
GYBA night is tomorrow night. Will there be a Challenger game on Saturday as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, 9 o'clock.
9
We'll
o'clock.
have the Challenger game out at Eagle Field, and then 1 o'clock is the Glenn game. So we'll be 12:45 pregame on Saturday, 1 o'clock first pitch. Two big games for the Eagles this week. I think you really, but you can say that every week. Two big games this week, two big games next week. Until district is over, every game right now is going to be a big game that is going to be contested between these schools. We still have to go back to them again, starting with Glenn on Saturday is the second round through the district. You've got 5 teams right now all wanting to place in that district, in that UIL playoff. And someone's going to be disappointed at the end of this.
For sure.
You've got 5 good baseball teams and 3, like you said, Kelly, sitting at 1-5 that are scary 1-5 teams in district that can on any night pick up a win. And so tomorrow night, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. The Cedar Park Timberwolves coming to take on your Georgetown Eagles. And then Saturday, the Challenger game, 9 o'clock, 1 o'clock game against the Glen Grizzly. Let's take a timeout. We've got a couple of players here to visit with tonight. I believe it's Andon Petty and Logan Smith on tap. And so we'll bring up one of them next. But let's take a quick timeout. Back with more of the Eagle Baseball Coaches Show live here from Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue in Georgetown, Texas. Stay with us here on SHN.
we are.
Welcome back to the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show, live here at Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue in Georgetown, Texas. Special shout out to our boy, Doppler Dave England.
Big Dave.
Letting us deliver subpar forecasts for the baseball games since he's not with us. But now we're joined. Mr. Petty here the other night. We were at Liberty Hill, and on the air it said, stepping into bat, number 16. Number 16 on his jersey, but number 1 in his dad's heart. And Mr. Petty had just leaned in and started to record. So I don't know how the recording went, but I said it because he was right there. But Andon Petty steps in, the center fielder for your Georgetown Eagles. Andon, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
We were sitting up here talking about the speed. We looked at it, 938 stolen base percentage, I guess is how you pronounce that. But 15 stolen bases, only caught once, unfortunately, we talked about it there in the Leander game.
Easy.
But 15 stolen bases on the year. One thing we discussed is enjoying, and we talked with Coach about running the bases, being aggressive on the base pass. How much joy do you get out of taking off and picking bases from these pitcher and catchers?
Oh, man. It's one of my favorite things to do, just to know that guy cannot get me. It's just a great feeling. Taking those extra bags for our teammates to allow them to get in a more comfortable so that we're not in a double play situation and I can get in scoring position.
And I think that's pretty easy to see. It works quite a bit as you've accounted for 20 runs this year, putting yourself in a scoring position, which is very key. A lot of the base hits that have been coming. The one, I think, the biggest run of the year, enjoyable-wise and such a great baseball game, was the one that mattered the most in the bottom of the 12th inning against Rouse. You took off from second base, and I've been back and watched that several times, and I started to say they're going to hold him. And at no point did Coach ever slow his arm down in the windmill motion.
No
you were
stop
going
sign.
no matter what.
Oh, no.
In your head, were you going no matter what?
He can't say.
It's over now, so it's safe. It's safe.
Right when I looked at him, I had no clue he bobbled it yet, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to be close. This is going to be a good one. And I made it halfway there, and everyone starts cheering, and I turn around, and ball's behind him, and I'm like, okay, that's standing up right there.
I was kind of anticipating this beautiful slide across home plate, and there's one that in the majors they talk about
Tapping it as you
the
go
top
by.
slide. Yeah, this is slides and stands up
Yeah.
like, yep, that was nothing. But then I went back and watched the Rouse broadcast, and it's so funny. It's like base hit to left, bobbled. He bobbled it, and it's like you just heard the deflation in their voices. And at that point, then I pulled it up next to ours and talking about, here comes Petty. And it was so fun because it was you saw your head turn, and then it was no need to slide.
No.
It was easy.
It was
Not
a
at
lot
all.
like your call on the interception during the Dripping Springs game in the playoffs, screaming.
Oh, it was very loud. That was a
Yeah.
beautiful game. How much fun is it a game like that? You're a senior. You played baseball a lot at this point in your life. How big? How fun of a game was that? 12 innings against at the time the number 1 ranked team in the state, at home in front of a home crowd, to have that kind of game to be participating in. How much fun was that?
I would say it's my favorite game so far this year. I mean, I would say we hit the 7th inning, and I knew Wade was in there, and I was like, oh, they're not scoring. We got this. But then I was like, now we got to score. And then Ty came in, and I was like, we got this. Let's do this. I'm like, I know we're scoring. They're not. Let's just score. We just got to do it.
Once you got on second base, you see him walk Hellman. What's the thought process there now?
I was quite confused there for a second. I mean, you put our best hitter up with me on scoring position with 0 outs. I was like, I mean, I get it, trying to turn on double play there, but you're still putting the best hitter up there with, I mean, I knew it was game when that happened.
A lot of confidence seeing your catcher come up and
Huge.
no
Huge.
outs, and they just
No.
walk to get to him.
What's his OPS? Like 6,412? Just ridiculous.
Let's go back to a couple of Saturdays ago. We go to Round Rock, and I actually put a star in my book and said, put a gold star by that play right there.
For hitting Georgetown families in the face with our tent.
It was
Sorry, by the way.
the diving catch in center field.
That's
And
why
then-
I'm apologizing right here, because they're sitting right there with
Yes.
puncture wounds.
I do have his insurance information for you after the broadcast. You make a diving catch on a ball. It was so windy that day, as attested to by the tent flying away. You lay out and make a catch, and it wasn't I made the catch and dove. You laid out, make this catch, and then compose yourself and get up and throw a strike over to Reese Bell at first base to double off. That inning, Roundout comes back to get 3 hits off the nice triple down the line. Give it to their designated hitter, first baseman. Smoked the 1 ball down the line, scored all 3 runs. That play ended up being huge for us. 2 outs now going into that instead of no outs, maybe 1 out. Plays like that, how much fun is that for you?
Oh, they're my favorite. That's the first one I made this year, and last year I made a couple, and I was kind of shocked it happened so late in the season, but I love making them.
Does the music in your head? Na-na-na.
Sometimes.
After the throw, hopefully.
Yeah.
'Cause the throw was good, so it didn't bother him. But we've gotten accustomed to, and we get very comfortable up in the booth and then just watching you guys. I'm going to call you kids because you guys are kids compared to Kelly. And so, but we get very comfortable in knowing. And we take
to
for
kill him now.
we take for granted how hard you guys work. But we get this confidence in the booth that, the ball's sitting in the left center. Petty's got it. It's like, Petty's going to chase that one down. How much do you challenge yourself? Your job is to patrol the outfield, and you do a great job of it. We talk about, we go to that inning break, like, man, he had that from the get-go. I mean, he was playing there, but we knew he had it 37 steps over. He got it. How fun is that? You're in control out there. You as a senior center fielder, the speedy guy, running that. What is that for you? What does that do for you? What do you love about that in that challenge in center field to be controlling that outfield and being in the leader?
Oh, man. I love it. Like, just having the whole field to play with, knowing that I got 2 guys next to me that are great and I trust very much. So I'm not too worried about this. I'm more worried about my area. And my goal every game is no balls dropping. If a ball drops, either something happened or that dude had a good hit. But my goal was ball does not hit grass, and if it does, I'm throwing him out. That's my goal every game.
So out there in the outfield, 3 quality outfielders. I mean, we get more than that, but our general starting lineup, 3 quality outfielders. Does it give you more confidence to take some chances on plays like that?
Oh, yes. To know that I have those 2 guys behind me at all times backing me up, I know they'll be there. So, to me, that just gives me that extra boost to just go for it.
And now when Coach makes changes and you see Jacob Haddon come into pitch and Ty moves out to right field instead of left, Denton moves out to left field, you have some changes out there. It seems like nothing changes for you guys. The confidence
difference.
level is the same.
Mm-hmm.
You're anchoring in the middle. What's it like between the 5 of you, the 4 of you that are out there, the mainstay outfielders? What is the communication and trust that they have into you as the leader, as a center fielder? That, hey, if he calls us, we're out. We're backing up at that point. Is it confidence from them as the same as you have in them?
Oh, yes. I have so much confidence in them that if they call me off in center field, I hope they have a good reason. if they call it before I do, well, I trust you. In the same way they feel about me. It's just we've been playing so long with each other that we have just such confidence in everything that we do.
So talk about watching you guys between games, after games, even before games. Talk about the camaraderie of this team.
Oh, man.
And, yeah, you can tell you guys get along.
Most of the time, yes. Yes.
Yeah. Then there's the other times.
We're getting along. We're just competing the other times.
Yeah.
Man, everything's a game for us. We compete for everything we do, and no matter how the game turns out, at the end of the day, we're all still best friends. We're all brothers.
Most of you guys been playing together a long time, right?
Oh, yes. 3-4 years now for most of us. We got Jacob Haddon that just moved here, and he jumped in real quick.
Right.
The trust came in. We have Faltasack that his first year with us, and same thing with him. He jumped in quick. The trust between all of us, just the bond is it's perfect.
What does that do for you as a senior leader out there to have these 2 new players come in? Jacob Haddon stepped in, one on the mound. He came in and dealt a great game against Vandergrift on Saturday, I believe it was. No. When did Haddon pitch? Saturday. Friday. He comes in, but he pitches so dominantly. But when he's in the outfield, it's smooth. For you to have a new outfielder with you, is it make it easier knowing that the way he just melds right in, the way he falls a second, meld right in, the way no matter who's beside you, does that not faze you?
No, I mean, it's great to know that when we have our little shifts, I don't have to look at him and be like, hey, do this. He's already doing it. It's already done. So I don't have to worry about them. I just got to worry about what's going on.
As a senior leader on this team, when do you get nervous?
Ooh. You know, I would say the whole game I'm nervous, but it's just the nerves. You know, it's just the whole game.
It's that competition.
It's just competition.
Competitiveness.
But, I mean, no matter situation of the game, I have confidence. I'm still nervous. Everybody's nervous. But it's just confidence with every person on this team.
You ever, in a season like this, where you guys are very, you have a lot of leaders, a lot of seniors, a very senior-heavy team, are you ever going into any game fearful, like we don't have a chance in this game?
Not at all.
How is that within the dugout? You guys are the seniors. You guys lead that. The younger players look up to the seniors. They don't have to say that. They don't have to act like it. They could deny it all year long, and they could deny it to everybody. But they look up to you, and that's just how it always has been in sports. You look to those guys that have been there. Is that confidence throughout that entire dugout? Or is it you guys have to instill that, or is it just from top to bottom as a team, you guys know we can compete at any time with anybody, anywhere?
No, it's been there since day one. Since the beginning of fall, starting the fall league, everyone's had confidence. Going into off season, we knew the guy next to me is going to work just as hard as I am. It's been there since the beginning.
What's next for Andon Petty? Georgetown High School, baseball season comes to an end, hopefully in the Dell Diamond. Nice rings or something, being measured up, graduation.
Don't say that.
I'm just saying. It's possible.
Don't jinx it.
What's next for Andon Petty?
Well, first, take a little off and relax. And then going to Temple, which is not very far. It's 45 minutes away. And then starting it all again. Starting fresh, starting brand new, and then I'm jumping right into it.
You going to play baseball at Temple College?
Yes, sir.
All right. So another, which is not surprising to me, another player off this team playing and continuing his athletic career at the next level.
Just no SHN covering your games, man. Sorry.
Sad.
Yes. I mean, we can't be everywhere at the same time. Any shout-outs?
To all my friends and family that show up every game to just watch us compete and are always there for us, and all my teammates that are just there every game. I love all of them.
And we can't get away from your dad. Yeah, he's right there beside. No, I'm joking. It's funny because during the games, we'll open up the door in between our booth and the Rouse game. I think it was 4 or 5 times. It's like, oh my goodness, this is going. And the door closes and we're back on the air. And so we have a good time chatting with him up in the booths. And so, well, thanks to Andon Petty, the senior center fielder, number 16 for the Georgetown Eagles, for joining us tonight live here on the Georgetown Eagle Coaches Show. Thank you, Andon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We'll take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with another senior, Mr. Logan Smith, here at the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show live from Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue. Stay with us.
Thank you, brother.
Back here live, Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue in Georgetown, Texas, the host of the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show. Live here on SHN. Thanks to the Georgetown Eagle Band for the fight song, Wonga Boom, and all the clips they bring us to highlight those students and all the work they do throughout the year in their area of perfection. I tell you what, the work they put in is crazy to watch from the middle of the summer on.
Oh, yeah.
But, man, what an opportunity here, Kelly. We're joined by number 5 in the Georgetown lineup, the number 5, the third baseman slash pitcher slash DH slash everything else.
I think you got utility by your name.
I think, yeah, instead of a position, it's just utility slash pitcher. We're joined by Logan Smith, another senior here on the Georgetown Eagle team. Logan, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Oh, man.
Tough act to follow.
It was. He did a great job.
Brutal. Just brutal. They said they were telling you what not to say today, right? Don't do this, don't do that. A little nervous. Did phenomenal. This guy's just cool as a cucumber. So it's all good.
Third base and pitcher, 2 main positions we see you at.
Yes, sir.
What do you enjoy the most? If you had to pick one position.
I enjoy third a lot. Pitching is kind of just like an extra thing that comes to it, but I enjoy the field a lot.
What does it feel like when you know Saturday, Vandergrift came around, Logan Smith's on the mound? We knew it was coming. We had been told as we got ready. Does that change your mindset? Does that get you in a different mode?
I mean, pitching's definitely like something different you have to think about when you're like going into a game. But I mean, it's just like something like a second nature. You know, it's like you just get up on the mound and then start pitching, just go along with the day.
How much confidence do you get knowing you got the defense behind you that you've got while you're on the mound?
That's a lot of confidence. Our defense is solid. It always has been. You just throw strikes and know that plays are going to be made behind you.
4-0 is the win and loss numbers. 4 games started, 1 earned run allowed, only giving up 11 hits in those 4 wins, 14.1 innings pitched, which I think is the third or fourth amount of innings pitched on this team. So there's confidence there from the coaching staff to put you on the mound. And then when you're in there, the last game was against Vandergrift. You go 3 innings, allow 2 hits, throw 37 pitches. Next man up, John Doe comes in. He deals. Do you enjoy it? You look forward to it? Or is it, okay, now my job's done. Now it's back to the third base mindset?
Well, those kind of games, I know that I have to get my job done on the mound. And if I go back out to third, that's just something the coaches do. But no, pitching, when I'm going in to pitch, that's what I'm focused on, and that's what I'm locked into doing.
Why such enjoyment playing that hot corner over there?
I don't know. It's like a rush of adrenaline. Like, you know, a ball's going to be smoked at you, or it's going to be like a bunt, lay down and go get it. But it's just like an adrenaline rush you get when somebody turns on a ball. It's like, yes, it's mine. Like, it's my turn to make this play.
And then that throw from third base to first base, longest throw in the infield that's there. Do you even think about it, or do you just let it fly?
Well, sometimes you got to think about it a little bit when you're on the run. You
Don't
got to be like, man, I can't throw this away. But sometimes you just pick it up and you let it go and let it eat across.
How hard is it to eat one and not make that throw?
No, man, there's not many times that I do it, if I'm being honest with you. But sometimes it is hard to eat.
Oh, man.
We talked about after a game. There was a game you had an error at third, a throwing area, and you came back from it. And several plays in that game after, you charging balls, throwing on the run, making dimes over to Reese. And I talked to you after it, and I said the one thing that stuck out to me was I love the way that one error didn't throw you out of your game. The way you rebounded from it was phenomenal. Is that a challenge? Does that just challenge yourself? Is that internal? How do you deal with that? Okay, I've made a mistake. I've got to go on.
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, a lot of it is like the coaching thing. Like Coach V says, you got to like let something go and then pick something back up, because, you know, if you like let that eat onto you, then slowly over time it's just going to make more and more and more. So you just have to drop it, let it go, and then move on to the next play. So
do you challenge yourself when you've made an error? And it's going to happen. I mean, baseball is that. And we understand that. We've all been around this game. Some people like Kelly been around a lot longer than some of us. But Coach Vierra.
What did I do to you today?
Coach Vierra played baseball, went on to play baseball, now coaching baseball. errors are part of the game.
Yes, sir.
Do you internally challenge yourself that, okay, I made a mistake. Now the next, you know what, the next one is going to be perfect. And now I'm going to go in the next one and just totally blank it out? Or do you go back later and think about it? What did I do? How do I get better? How does Logan Smith adjust to that?
Yes, sir. So, I mean, most of the time I kind of just, like, push it off to the side, and I'm like, oh, I have a job to do. I have to make this next play. Like, in my head, I'm like, I know what to do, and I'm going to make this play. And then maybe after the game, if it's really a play that I knew I should have made, I mean, I go back on it just to briefly. But most of the time I just set it off to the side, and I know I have to make this next play.
In practice, you guys work on stuff constantly. One thing that I've enjoyed watching this year at third base, the ability to react and charge at third base when you have to be prepared, like Kelly said, for that hot shot. It could be down the line. It could be to your left. But then your ability to crash and throw on the run. Repetition? What makes that seem so easy for you? We can watch it up in the booth and be like, man, he does that really well. But there's some third basemen that are great at side to side, that are great at that hot shot and blocking it. But then they have that challenge of reacting and then throwing on the run. It seems to be very smooth for you at third. Is that just tons of practice, tons of repetition? What do you?
I mean, yeah, that's my favorite play to make, if I'm being honest. I love charging and make it throw on the run. But, yeah, it's a lot of practice. We practice that all the time. Slow rollers, the choppers, like picks. We do, like, something called NDD where we just do only picks only. And, yeah, I mean, it's just something that's so fun to do. So I love charging balls and throwing on the run.
So, question for you. Would you rather win a game 13-1 or 1-0 in 12? Which game do you enjoy more?
You know, the long games that are close, those are my favorite. I love, like, competing because you know, like, you're not just going to roll over a team and go on with your day. Like, just that constant, like, we're going to win, like, we're going to go, like, just constant battle. That's my favorite.
Because you're not the first one I've heard 3 or 4 of you guys talk about that Rouse game. Not the Rouse game, the 12-inning game. Which one?
That was
yeah,
Rouse.
it was Rouse.
That was Rouse, yes, sir.
I've heard y'all talk about that Rouse game, and I haven't heard one guy even come close to even suggesting that y'all thought for a minute you might lose that game. Who was it said, oh, when I came up in the 7th, I'm going to win it here. Came up in the 9th, I'm going to win it here. Yeah. Came up in the 12th, going to win it here. That's got to give you just the ultimate. Nobody even thought for a minute y'all might lose that game.
Yes, sir. That's how our mentality is at Georgetown baseball. We never quit. It's Coach was talking about earlier. We're gritty. Like, we never want to give up. We always it's a competing thing. So, yeah, I mean, there's no loss in our minds, and we're constantly wanting to win every single game.
And I love the way Ennon said that earlier. In the 7th inning, it's like, oh, we're going to win it here. Wade's in pitching, we're going to win it here.
Yeah.
Oh, Ty's in to close it out. All right, it's time for us to score. We're going to win it here. The mindset that you're talking about, Kelly, is so true that as we talked to Nick and Wade last week, along with Zachary Mazik, it's just one of those, we knew we were going to win. We felt like we were going to win. We had it was just taking advantage of the right opportunity at the right time. Other plays occurred, balls down the third baseline that may have been fair foul. And I'm still bent on that one. That was still a fair ball.
Hung up on that.
That was a fair ball.
Let it go. Let it go.
As you go forward, you're a senior, one of the leaders on the team. On the infield, we talked to Ennon about the outfield. The senior leader out there in center field, Roman, trusting his other outfielders. You're next to a very talented shortstop, a very athletic shortstop in Eli. What kind of confidence does that give you on the left side of the infield? That the ball comes to that side of the infield, it's shutdown time? How do you guys look at that?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, me and Eli talk all the time, whether we know batters, how they hit the ball. Like, we're constantly communicating, hey, ball's coming here. Hey, read a swing. We know where the ball is coming. So me and Eli have that connection where we can constantly talk and tell each other what might happen in this situation so we can move in the right places.
How many guys in district games have you played with in travel ball or because I know you know a lot of those guys,
Yes,
right?
Sir.
And Central Texas has made some tremendous strides in the football area, but the baseball talent in Central Texas is ridiculous.
Yes, sir, it is.
So when you face those guys, does it change anything? You want to beat them worse?
Oh, of course. We always want to stomp them. That's always the fun thing to do. We always want to beat them. It's even more competitive when we play against those guys that we know. And yeah, I mean it's always a competition. There's never any let-ups or anything. It's a constant battle.
Your communication with Eli when you're at third base and you're at he's at shortstop. How does that transition, and what is the confidence like for you on that specific side of the field? You talked about the defense as a whole, the confidence you pitchers have. But when you go to the mound and Nick Silva steps out there or Riley Leiniger steps out there, I'm trying to think of all the names that we've seen that have stepped in. How does that – you know the communication you have with Eli. What kind of confidence does that give you knowing that Eli is the anchor there at short and any one of those players comes in while you're on the mound, that your confidence is just as strong as if you were there on third base?
Oh, yes, sir. That's just one of the things about, like, the brotherhood that we have. Like, we all have that same kind of connection. So if I'm not there telling Eli or Eli's not telling me, Eli's telling those guys, and it's just, like, a constant back and forth knowing, like, hey, man, like, just listen here. Like, we know what's going on here. So, I mean, it's just, like, a piggyback. Like, even if I'm out, the new guy steps in, and same thing happens.
What's next for Logan Smith? He's a senior, graduation coming up. What's next?
I'm looking for a place to play right now. Still uncommitted as of right now, but looking for a future home.
Awesome.
Wanting to play college baseball.
Awesome. And many opportunities out there. I tell you what, baseball is a game of opportunity, especially in this area. Boy, it is growing, and to see some of the talent that has left Georgetown. Man, seeing the videos of Posey at New Mexico, it's great to see you kids as you guys go to the next level and compete.
One last question from me. When you're on the mound, what sign makes your heart happy? What's your pitch?
My pitch. I definitely have to say like 0-2 changeup, 1-2 changeup. I love my changeup. So
I was laughing at one of the changeups you threw because the guy was so far ahead of it, and it was just despicable. I think I said something about needing to clean that ball off because it was just filthy.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I thought you might say that changeup.
Yes, sir.
Because
Yes,
that's
sir.
nasty.
Shout-outs before we let you go?
All the coaches, all my family that's all come out, friends, everybody in Georgetown. It's a great atmosphere.
Now, you're not the only one that said your coaches. Is that the pressure applied by the coaches before you come up here? Or is that
The fact your head coach is sitting here.
staring at you while we're talking? So, but number 5 on the Georgetown roster, a senior, Logan Smith, visiting with us tonight here from the Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue on the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show. Logan, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Good luck this week. 2 big ball games. We can't wait to go watch. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and wrap it up. You're listening to the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show live on SHN Sports. Back here live, the
My kids
Georgetown
are
Eagle
Eagles. Makes me
Baseball
an
Coaches Show. Live from Pok-e-Jo's Barbecue here on SHN Sports. Edition number 2. Next week, we will not have a coaches show due to the upcoming Easter weekend. We'll play games on Tuesday and Thursday. Thursday being an away game. We've got to drive the furthest ever across town to the Eastview High School to take on the Eastview Patriots in the Crosstown Classic, it has now been termed. I love that.
You're going to miss me again.
Yeah, that's your bad.
I'll be in Mariana, Florida.
That's okay. I'll be at Eastview.
Try.
By the way, I got to tell you, thanks for not holding the past 22 years against me. In fact, I've known you since I moved to Georgetown.
I've known this guy since he's
2000.
11 years old. So
I don't know if that makes me old or you old, but
all the
Yes.
comments about Kelly's age tonight just got exposed, folks.
yeah. So how was it watching Jesus play?
not as good as Moses.
Oh, my God.
He's a little better fielder. Wow. Y'all just going to sit there and not take up for me? Jeez.
That's right. So we turned the crowd mic off for the show. Coach, we got just some good baseball coming up the next 2 days.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, Cedar Park. Saturday, Glenn. We can beat it, the dead horse. I pulled up the Texas high school baseball, and one thing that just has to make you beam as a coach in this district is 4 of the top 25 teams in the state of Texas all come from this district.
Yeah.
That speaks so highly about the competition. And the funny thing is, you have a Leander Lion team that's 4-2 district.
Yeah.
That's not anywhere on this. You have a Liberty Hill team that was 16-4. They were upset when they got knocked out at like 14-4, and so they're back up in it. How do you keep this team focused the rest of the way as we go to round 2 on Saturday? How do we keep them focused through the end of district?
No, it's that thing that we've been keep going back to is our goal has not been achieved yet. Our goal will not be achieved until the last week of the season, and the last week of district, and then the last week of the season. So our guys are well aware that what we're looking forward to is winning a district championship, and that's what we're working towards on a daily basis. And then ultimately a dogpile at Dell Diamond. We've been talking about it since these guys first stepped on campus. It's been the goal that these guys have been striving for 4 years now, and I don't see them taking any steps back at any point in time. The hunger that they show up with every day.
I love that you'll say that. So many people want to game at a time, day at a time, step at a. Let's go to Dell Diamond. Let's play at Dell Diamond.
How do you know where you're going to get if you don't know where you're going to get?
Yeah. I love that you say that, and I love these guys are even willing to talk about it. I was joking with Wally, man, don't jinx it, but freaking talk about it, man. You want to be at
for the
Dell
weak
Diamond.
thinker.
Yeah. Is it? Uh-oh.
Foreshadow. We look at next year, the changes in the UIL.
Yeah.
We pulled up the baseball alignments. This district totally changes.
Mm-hmm.
We leave District 25 in baseball. We go to a District 23 with Bastrop, Cedar Creek, Elgin. Eastview goes with us, Pflugerville, Conley, and Pflugerville, Hendrickson. I loved it. We talked to Andon before, and he said, yeah, that was my freshman year. Well, we just kind of blew through that district. What's the future look like for this team then? You're going to lose a lot of seniors next year.
Yeah.
Couldn't hurt that we're going to this district setup, but you have a lot of underclassmen that'll be coming up and stepping up to take their turn at this Georgetown Eagle varsity baseball. What's the future look like for Georgetown in years to come with this district?
Yeah, so the district is still going to be competitive. I don't think there's a day where you can just take a step back at any point and go, well, we're just going to put the G on and walk out there and watch everybody take it. That's not how it works. We talked about last week that G's a target, so every time that the G gets an L next to it, people celebrate. It's a big deal. So for us, it's going to be just continuing to grow. We're going to have a lot of new faces next year on our varsity club. Fortunately, our JVs is learning a lot right now. They're competing at a high level. We're trying to keep them around our varsity guys as much as possible. And one thing that we keep talking about with our older guys too is your legacy isn't just what happens at the end of the season of what it shows up in the wins and losses, but it's the teams that follow after you and what they're able to do is what have you done for them. And it's cool because we had, Ann was telling me during practice today, we had an alumni walk up and go, you a Georgetown baseball player? And it was like, yeah. He goes, yeah, you had your hat, you had your sunglasses on the back of your hat, you're not covering the G, clean-shaven, good-looking high school kid, you must be a Georgetown baseball player. And it was Tyler Mendoza, a guy that played here for us for a number of years and went on to play college baseball. So our guys are still constantly trying to build into the younger guys and get those guys to understand what the G means and what that looks like to continue to keep going. So to go back to your question, the expectation is still the same expectation. Come out on top.
Have any of these guys surprised you this year with their performance? Is there any one or two or three players that when the season started, you're like, and then they have just surprised you with their performance this year?
Yeah, we've had a couple of those guys so far. We had a pretty good idea of what we were going to get coming into it. As soon as you say that, a name that there's two names that immediately stick out, and it's Ty Klaus Kissmore and it's Landon Heil.
Hold on. It's Ty Klaus Kizmore. I just wanted to straighten that up. I was educated last week.
Well, then I've been saying it wrong for 4 years, so and the guy that I say it has never fixed it. So
it's called fear or respect. Whatever.
I blame him. That's his bad.
Hey, next year you got any Joneses or Smiths or?
Yeah.
The only Smith we got's leaving.
Yeah. All right.
We do look forward to that part of the lineup. Now up, Logan Smith. Thank you, Logan Smith. Thank you. That is good. So Ty Klaus Kizmore, and then the other one you said
is Landon Heil. Those are two guys that weren't with us on our varsity last year, and this year they showed up, didn't skip a beat, stepped right in and competed for a spot, and both of them have won spots. Ty's done a great job in our outfield, running down balls and getting big hits for us, being able to hit situationally. And then Landon Heil's won the DH spot, and he keeps doing well. So both of those guys were guys coming into the season that we had kind of question marks next to. Hey, who's going to fill this spot? Who's going to fill that? And both those guys have stepped up and said, hey guys, I got this. We're gonna make this happen, and I'm gonna be the guy to do it. So pleasant surprises. I say surprise. I mean, we anticipated those guys would do a great job, but it's been fun to see for sure.
Couple of question marks now, exclamation points.
Amen.
Yeah, you say that about Ty, and you talk about it. The last two games, Ty's been 2 for 3. The big triple against Vandergrift, scored a run, had a single, 2 for 3 against Liberty Hill. But he does come up with those timely hits. But it's fun to watch how some of these players can go from an outfielder to the mound, or from third base to DH, or from first base to you can just these parts that help fill in, no matter who's on that mound, that the defense doesn't lose that strength.
Yeah.
And so something that's fun to watch and to see the confidence from one pitcher like Logan to one pitcher like Nick, like Wade, that they come in and they just it's across the board. Oh, that defense, they got my back. And so that's got to make coaching a lot easier, knowing that defense, no matter how you're tinkering with it.
So easy, anybody could do it.
I mean, if they're going to let me do it, I mean, might as well.
Man, I don't know how many times I've said I'm glad my career is not dependent on the performance of 16 to 18-year-olds.
When you get 16 to 18-year-olds like this, it's hard not to complain.
Yeah,
I was going to say, we are blessed with a great team of 16 to 18-year-olds. Right?
I could mess it up.
To enjoy playing. So tomorrow night, 6:45 pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. GYBA night, live from Eagle Field. We'll have it here on SHN if you can't be there at the ballpark. Beautiful night. The Kelly DeVoll subpar forecast is mid to upper 70s for a high. Just anything because Dave's not here. But a beautiful night. It's supposed to be a clear night, so a great night for baseball. And then Saturday, a beautiful day for a 1 o'clock start. Don't forget about the Challenger game, 9 o'clock at Eagle Field. We're going to make our appearance and then run to see grandson play baseball at 10. And then back for baseball, Eagle baseball, to finish off our afternoon.
You're talking about my age. I don't have grandkids.
Some people waited late in life. Some people did not. And it's not Pawpaw. It is Grumps.
I believe that.
Get it right. So, Coach, anything before we sign off here tonight?
No, man, I just want to tell you guys thank you for what you're doing for Georgetown baseball. You guys are helping our athletes get the recognition that they deserve with as much work as they're putting in, and I appreciate the time that you guys are spending to showcase our athletes and put them in a positive light. So thank you for what you guys are doing.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Coach.
I think we spend more time off of broadcast talking about the next broadcast.
I'm on a flight doing that.
Yeah. I actually texted Kelly about the GYA. Will you put this into the logo for the link for GYBA night tomorrow night against Cedar Park? and he's like, done, emailed. And I was like, you home from Boston yet? Nope, on the plane now. And my wife's like, Kelly's doing this on. I was like, man, we'll text the whole time. And so we enjoy what we do. We love watching these kids compete and to put their efforts out and to just expose that to the world and to those that can't be a part of it on an in-person night. They can sit there and watch it at home and enjoy it, and we try to have fun with that.
And we literally have people watching from all over the world. It's pretty cool.
It is so neat.
Fun. We've had some from Korea and
Nice.
yeah, it's
and
awesome.
it's fun to watch the alumni get on and watch from football into basketball and now baseball to be able to chime in and sit there and chat. And Kelly goes through that during the game and giving shout-outs for where people are. And so it's fun to see that some of the alumni log on, knowing they're at school and they're playing, but they have a chance to watch their high school compete and be a part of it. So we enjoy it, and we enjoy the opportunity to be a part of this. So
Yeah, we do it for nothing.
I tell you what, it's fun.
Oh, wait. It's a blast.
Thanks for joining us
Love it.
tonight. So no show next week. We have a lot of baseball in the next week. Tomorrow night, Cedar Park. And then we have the Glen Grizzlies on Saturday. Next Tuesday, we will be, I believe it, Marble Falls? Marble Falls. And then we will be at Eastview on Thursday night. So be watching that as we send the links out. Do not miss that. It's a Thursday night game. But you can watch them all live here on SHN Sports. We'll carry them all. Thanks for joining us tonight for the Georgetown Eagle Baseball Coaches Show. Thanks to Coach Jordon
Appreciate you
Vierra
guys.
for being
Thank
here
you.
with us.
Appreciate
To
it.
Logan
Thank
Smith and Petty, thanks for joining us, guys. Had a fun time visiting with you guys and can't wait to watch more Eagle ball tomorrow here at Eagle Field. Kelly?
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a good night, folks. See you tomorrow from Eagle Field on SHN.